Hey, what's up everybody? It's T Travel Stories podcast, and today's episode is the second part of the second summer in the States that I spent as a lifeguard. I was working there for 3 months, if you remember from the third episode, the previous one. After you have worked for 3 months, this will allow you to travel for 30 more days. The reason it's good because it allows you, it sort of inspires you to spend all the money. And it's not only a motivation for the temporary summer immigrants to go there and work there so they can boost the economy in the States, but it also boosts the possibility and the opportunities to spend all the money you have earned throughout the summer. Sorry for the background noise, but this is why we are running this Patreon project, so we can get to the point when our recordings can be better quality. So bear with me for a couple more months till we gather enough. We can start accumulating more specific tools that will enable us to give you a better quality. Anyways, so after my season was over in Wisconsin, I hosted my girlfriend and we were traveling together for 1 month. 1 month? No, it was just 3 weeks. Most people just dream about the States for 3 weeks, but after working there for 3 months, I got the opportunity to travel with my, ex-girlfriend for 3 more weeks. She flew over me, and during the summer it was super hard because we could only speak over the Skype, and I missed her, she missed me. I suppose, I don't know. Never really asked about it. Did you miss me? I have higher standards than that. Or maybe just the ego is stronger and I assume that, yeah, of course she missed me. Why wouldn't she miss me, right? Better. And so, like I told you previously, that I lost this bonus because she wanted to come a week before, and looking back, I have to ask myself, was I just under the sleeper, just a pussy, that I get into this business, get into this deal, sort of? Because I'm sure she could have purchased the ticket a couple days after, or if she really wants it, she was 18 or so, she could have just take a bus from Chicago to Wisconsin, which is 4 hours drive to my place, and that could have resolved all the issues. So yeah, she came over just, I think, 3 days prior that my contract was due to finish, and that meant that I lost, I think, $500. Yeah, $500, and it was what it is. I had to deal with this, and it took me a couple of days to get over it, and of course it was really hard not to throw it into her face that, you know how much I fucking value. And you know what, guys, she came to me and we were really cool in the beginning, and eventually I noticed that something's bugging her, and I kept on pushing it. Hey, what's wrong with it? And of course, like everyone, oh, nothing, all is good, oh, nothing, it's all good. After 3 days she said that, you left me in Hungary. I was like, yes, so I could work and I could pursue my dreams. And she came with a reply, you left me in Hungary. And then she fucking broke up with me after 3 months, and I was like, okay, the fuck am I supposed to do now? And guess what? They just yeah, we still travel. I'm not going to leave her fucking behind, and I don't have too much sense of responsibility for others or mercy to others, but I was mature enough, which is rather an argument, but anyways. So we traveled together to Chicago. We stayed there, we walked around the city, we loved Chicago, I did at least, and then we rented a car over there, and we went to this, I think we spent one, maybe 2 days in Buffalo, which is just a garbage city if you're asking me. We did it because it was super close to the US border, to the US-Canadian border, and back in those days, all I wanted to do is just collect stamps, that go to one place and just get stamped. So I've been to that country, and in this case, we are talking about Canada. Canada, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the second largest country in the world. Is it the second largest? Yes, but just a second, I'll check it out. Yeah, so Canada is the second largest country, and I wanted to go there just to get the stamp so I can tell to the peeps, folks out there that yeah, I've been to Canada for a day. Anyway, so we drove this rented car, which was really nice car, and this was probably the first car I rented in my life. So I was really excited and nervous in a sense that what am I going to break, what's gonna happen if we run out of the fuel, what's gonna happen if I get a speeding ticket or whatever toll gate I'll be missed. Anyways, I got lucky. I think I went through only one toll gate and they never really charged me. They never came after me. And oh no, we used the bank card from my missus, from my girlfriend. And then she said that nothing happened, so it was all good. I just drove through like the wrong gate, which was like this automatic paying, like magnet card, whereas I was supposed to pay by cash and I just missed it. Anyways, as we reached the border, we ended up getting in trouble. In fact, that we went there and we had our passports, of course, and she was on a tourist visa, I was on a J1 work and travel visa. But in order to cross the border, which allowed me to have multiple entry visa to in and out of the States, and we get to the border control asks for the passports. Dorka, my ex-girlfriend, she gets cleared, and then I was asked that, hey, you are not on a tourist visa. I said, yes, I know, I was working for 3 months and now I'm ready to travel to Canada. And guess what? It turns out that without this like whatever paperwork, proof that you are on a work and travel visa and then you do have a job in the States and then it's a work and travel job contract, blah, blah, blah. Just like additional like 5 sheets of papers. And so they denied the entry to Canada, and that meant that actually they got suspicious that I'm just smuggling shit or I want to leave US to the Canada and settle down like a illegal immigrant. And they ended up taking us apart, like literally they checked the glove box, they checked the trunk, they checked the hat holder, I don't know how to say, like in the back of the seats where you can leave your coat and your hats, you know, and they just fucking tore us apart. And they were seeking for drugs and they checked her, even like she was smoking at the time. I think she still smokes, but anyways, it's not my business any longer, I reckon. And so the border guard even checked her pack of cigarettes, whether she's hiding whatever in that one. Long story short, we spent at the customs for 1 hour. We got interrogated. They made like a note. We opened the case and they copied her passport. They copied my passport, obviously. They turned us back from the border and we had to drive like additional 2 hours back to Buffalo to pick up that paper because they said that no fucking way. I'm here in the Canadian-American border. I want to just get the stamp. I just want to see Toronto. So we drove back and then picked up the paper. We drove to the far end again. And once we did that, then finally I got the paper so we could pass the controls. We entered to Canada and we visited Canada. We discovered Canada, I think, for 5 hours, not more than 10 for sure. We stayed there. We went to this CN Tower, which is like the high. I think back in the days it was the 5th or 6th largest object in the world, like built by humans. And we went there. I remember for the rest of my life we ate cheesecake. I think one cheesecake cost $15 fucking. Now I'm in Kazakhstan and I think you pay like 80 cents for a cheesecake, and really decent one. So there's no difference other than that it's served in Canada in the CN Tower, the capital, blah 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 blah, which made it more special, I reckon. And it was like super fucking romantic. It was probably one of the most romantic moments of my life. Anyways, I loved it. We were just walking around the CN Tower. That cost another fucking $20 or so. And back then, even now, I'm a frugal cunt. Back then I was stingy, now I'm just frugal, which is like a level better. But I was really like biting my face because I paid 35 fucking bucks for a tower and a cheesecake. Nowadays I spend that money on a week or so if I really go low budget. Anyways, we didn't even sleep in Canada. We just came back, you know. the same night, and we drove in the middle of the night, and yes, we visited Canada. So back then my ego was like completely overtaking every single day, more and more my mind, and I told myself for years and years that yeah, I've been to Canada, I visited Canada, and it was just like less than 10 hours, you know. We did visit the Niagara waterfalls, and from the videos you always saw those like tourist Chinese people like wearing this blue raincoat, these shitty ferries, they take them around and they can take pictures. We wanted to do a bit more adventures, but eventually it didn't really work out. Everybody was obliged actually to wear these like raincoats. So we went to the Niagara waterfalls, and we checked it from the American side, and from the Canadian side it looks the same, I suppose, but some of the people, well, mostly the Canadians, look at it from the Canadian side, or Americans from the American side, and tourists probably just want to take from both sides so they can say that, yeah, I've seen the Niagara waterfalls from America and from the States as well. And it's a really great experience. It's overrated. It's definitely a super touristic place, and you can just follow the absolutely artificial path around it and just take the same fucking pictures all the time. You have the illusion that you can go to like unique spots, but look, this is just not the case. You only go to the beaten path. After we got back to Boston, we went to visit Philadelphia, and I was really obsessed with Rocky and some historical monuments. So I did see the Rocky Balboa statue, and I remember that I have a picture standing next to him. This is like a bronze, and of course I was posing because how cool is that, standing next to Rocky Balboa, a movie icon, a Hollywood icon. It was just like absolutely insane, and it was thrilling. After Philadelphia, we did go and visit Washington DC, of course, to see the White House. It's super average, like from the movies it looks like much bigger, much more beautiful, much more unique, and now it's just the building which is painted white and fence with like 5 meters high, like iron fence, to make sure that they keep all the fucks away. And of course, these like hobo, hippie, homeless protesters against the system, against the government, against the politicians, whatever, they are all just like camping around the White House and saying that fuck the system, fuck Obama, fuck Trump, fuck nuclear war, everything. And whether they're right or not, it's good. I took more pictures of those homeless people than the White House itself, because I found them more inspiring, more iconic, more like a symbol, how people, whether they make a stand or not make a stand, they get to choose. Because there were these like type people, the bankers, you know, they're just walking by, going to with a small lunchbox, or going to the nearest Starbucks to grab a cup of coffee and build a corporate society. And on the contrary, there were these like homeless hobos protesting against the system, of course, with beer, with like smelling, and like the trolley next to them. So they were living actually they were living on the street, probably still have been. Yeah, and eventually we went to New York. We did visit New York because we were in America, and even though I have visited before, she just wanted to visit and of course I was in love, and then, okay, let's do this, whatever you want, honey. So she broke up with me after just waiting for her for 3 months, and yeah, I understand that she perceived that as betrayal, that I just give up on her because I chose America. But for Christ's sake, that wouldn't you choose the same? I mean, this is a once-in-a-life thing, and you can only do while you are young. You can live it until you live without responsibility. Guys, it's a shout-out again. I would do the same again. In fact, I would stay for the additional $500. No question asked. Because work and travel is the experience, capital D experience. And it will change your life. It did with mine. I know it's expensive. You have to put the money in. You have to put the time in. And most likely you have to rely on your parents, relatives, whatsoever, because as a student, you're not going to get like $1,500 in hand. So you're gonna make some sacrifices, probably big sacrifices, but don't forget this. Mark my word, these summers, these changed my life. They pushed me to the road where I understood that money is good, but it's good as a tool so I can achieve my dreams. I can discover new places. And to me, discovering new places is the thing. Of course, we can say that, as my good friend said, Anton, on the other days, traveling is the new sexy. But the way you travel, it's up to you. You don't necessarily need to go to the Sheraton, Hilton, or whatever holidays in. You can also always do couch surfing. I've already talked about this before and I will talk about it, so I don't want to get into too much details now. You can just take the cab from the airport to the hotel or to your couch surfing hotel, or you can do hitchhiking, which is a different experience. Speaking of which, guys, I just wrote a small booklet on hitchhiking where I take the process into part, both mentally and physically. What are the pros and the cons, the struggles, the ups and downs, why you should not do that, which stage of your life it's the best thing to do, and which stage of your life is just like a waste of time. So guys, download that. The link is down below and get access to it. It's free, it's for you, it's awesome. I do encourage you to put your hands on it, because hitchhiking is just like a different dimension. When it comes to traveling, everybody goes to places to take pictures. Everybody goes to places to tell their friends that, yeah, I've been here, I've been there, and where have you been, bitch? But the reality is that most of the people wouldn't travel. In fact, this is proven by research, statistics, numbers. And most of the people wouldn't travel if they were the last ones on the world, if there were no Instagram, Facebook to take pictures and upload them. As for me, fuck it, the only reason I'm taking pictures because I want to inspire you. I don't need your likes, I don't need your shares. I need your likes only to let other people know that this is another way of traveling. I need your shares so other people who are in need of motivation, who are in need of inspiration, who are lack of encouragement, empowerment, but they want to discover the world, so they can get information about that, about my stories. So guys, this is the only reason I encourage you. Like and share, leave your comments below so other people can hear your voice and see my stories. Also guys, thank you so much for your attention. As you remember, this was the 4th episode. After 2 weeks, I'm coming back with the 5th one. And in the 5th one, I'm going to speak about the experience between going back from America, knowing that I want to live abroad, but yet I still had so many ties to Hungary, family ties, friends ties, girlfriend ties, all these things, and how I could make the change, make the shift from a temporary backpacker every single summer, lives for 3 months, gets back for the rest of the 9 months, to the person who decides to leave Hungary and move abroad, period, for the rest of his life. Guys, stay tuned, because in 2 weeks I'm coming back. In the meantime, check out my YouTube channel where I share further stories from the present, more like personal development related ones, where you can follow my journey from a sort of spiritual point of view, which I'm not really fond of too much, but it is what it is. Also check out my Instagram account and Facebook account as well for daily pictures, for daily content, because every single day you get up, you make a choice. Are you going to watch funny cats, or are you going to boost your mind and seek for inspiration? It's your call. Stay tuned, because you, with a little bit of me, are shaping society. Bye.